to converge and then talk with us in a briefing like this today. So on that note, I'm inclined to just reminisce on few historical discourse posited by Daniel Defoe. Daniel Defoe was a pamphleteer for the Royal African Company, okay? And he stated in one of his reviews in early 1700s, he said that the British American colonies cannot survive without the Negro slave, okay? That was what he said. So I'm here to surmise that also, to say that the history of the transatlantic slave trade cannot be told from an historically balanced sheet without the mentioning of Sierra Leone, which is also Bones Island, where our ancestors were taken, but now our consciousness are being revived, and now we are coming back in this new age. So we say this year, for the Gola people to come here, other African Americans, is a renaissance for the African rising and the African diaspora. So on that note, family, so we want to welcome you from the Ministry of Tourism and Cultural Affairs. It shows that this is a very important and historic event. Cultural Affairs, we have directors here and the chairman of Monumental Exhibition. So it's to tell you that we want our hands are open and you are welcome once again whilst we move and unfold.
Who has traveled extensively all over the world, telling people that Sierra Leone is ready.
Because most of what you've been doing has been on social media and people have been asking. We have some Gola, Gishi people who are around, African Americans. What is happening? What are they doing here? They are brothers and sisters, so people have been interested in what you're doing. So indeed, we're extremely happy. And I want to take this opportunity to congratulate Fambul Tik. Shall we recognize Amadou Masoli and of course Samba and all those in the Fambul Tik organization. From the government perspective, we thank you very much. We are thanking you for many things. But first among most is for the fact that you have been able not only to rebrand Sierra Leone, but to be able to bring along 50 or more African Americans from North South Carolina, from the Gola kinship to Sierra Leone. This is the biggest group we've got for many, many years. The biggest we've got for many, many years. This means a lot to Sierra Leone because you are coming in at a time when we are rebranding this country, at a time when we want more ambassadors abroad, at a time when we need neutral voices to speak on our behalf, to tell our stories, to tell them the goodness of Sierra Leone. Somebody said Sierra Leone's value is underrated and underestimated globally, and it's true, because we have not been doing enough to let people know that Sierra Leone is a competitive destination. Yes. Here we are today in a country where we are reviving the economy. We have large number of young people in school, out of school, no jobs. We have resources that we need to add on. We need to ensure that it pays the resources that we need. We as a government, we've made human capital development as our goal. So what does this mean for people like you to come? It means there is hope. Listening to all of you, the interest you've had, the different skills that you have, it means Sierra Leone is going to profit, is actually going to benefit from this visit. Because all of the areas which you've highlighted are areas which are in need of development in this country. We need development in all of those areas. So this is very important. We are talking about Year of Return. We are talking about how do we celebrate, how do we link up, how do we ensure that African Americans come back to their roots, link with their heritage, and help to develop the local economy. So it's a very, very important time which you've spent to come to Sierra Leone. We all know what is happening in other places, like Ghana, that have been able to bring over 200,000 different people. Some of them are mere tourists, but through the connections, a lot of activities are going on. We also are doing our best to ensure that 2020 becomes our own year of return. Yes. And of course, you are going to be the showcase for that. Yes. You will be the showcase for declaration of our year of return. Yes. So people know that we have started. But that independence will make the declaration. What is implied? It means that all the 6, 7, 8,000 African Americans that their DNA have traced them to Sierra Leone, they have all expressed interest to come. And I know we've had quite a number of people who have come over to us for us to be able to make those arrangements so that we start to bring them to Freetown, bring them to Sierra Leone, not necessarily Freetown, because a number of them have their roots in other parts of the country. This is big for us. This is huge for us, what is happening here. Now, as we sit here, many people across the country are listening to what is happening here. They are listening to what you are saying. And slowly people are connecting to you. And if they are connecting to you, it means that we need to work together in terms of the aftercare processes of all what you've said. We have ministries, we have agencies, we have NGOs, we have CBOs, we have CSOs that are ready to work with you, that we want to share of what you have, in a sense that they can be able to ensure that they work with you to implement your dreams, your passion, what you want to do. So this is really great for us. Now, we also like to mention that within the tourism sector, we have tried very hard in the past 1.5 years for us to rebrand Sierra Leone, both in the tourism and the cultural sector. We've been to many parts of the world. That's the very first time Sierra Leone, within 1.5 years, has been to over 10 destinations. It has never happened before. And we go there to tell the Sierra Leone story. We use the media. But what this means is that the individuals, people like you, are more important in this business. Because as somebody says, your acquaintances, your social media connections, your schools, your churches, your communities, your local councils, you will take all of this message for Sierra Leone. The start of this program, early in the year, signals a lot. It means there is hope. It means Sierra Leone is going to surprise the rest of the world. Already, CNN has positioned Sierra Leone as the 12th most peaceful destination. So it means that we are peaceful. So what, especially for travels. And we are also in the process of revamping our domestic tourism. Wherein we can get Sierra Leoneans themselves to travel in their own country, do city tours, boat tours, engage in climbing mountains, going to ecotourism sites, because I'm sure because you have a very limited schedule, you've not been able to explore Sierra Leone fully. There are many different parts that you would have loved to go to. So I know because of that, you may come back. And when you come back, you're going to see more and more and more. And we are also open to people who want to invest in Sierra Leone. Who want to invest in Sierra Leone, who want to work in Sierra Leone, who want to partner with people in Sierra Leone. We are all open for that. The atmosphere is there. The climate is there. The hospitality is there. The willingness is there. The youth energy is there. A very proactive president is there. Proactive government is there. So what we need is strong connections like this. That is why we are very proud that it's our own people that are doing this. Because I have spent a lot of time trying to get people abroad to do this. So I am re-emphasizing this point. Because when your own people do this, it means it's not only about the sacrifice, it is about the passion which they bring to the country, which they bring to the process that I think is important. Because we are all in this together, because we want to be one country. We want to let Sierra Leone not only be competitive, but a country of envy. So when you go out there and you say, I have link with Sierra Leone, somebody will look at you and say, indeed, this is a quality person. This is a quality country. We have so much. I know over the years, so many challenges have happened, but it's now a new direction. It's now a new beginning. So that is why we are really excited. For me, I am overwhelmed because I've been looking for people who can help us in the sector. And I've seen all of you. So what it means is that going forward, I will have to be engaging in things that have to do with policy, things that have to do with implementation of laws, finding maybe monies that we can be able to run the sector. But like activities like this is really for the private sector. It is not for government. So I want to tell everybody in Sierra Leone that this example is what we want to see. It is not a question of sitting at home, theorizing, or sitting somewhere, giving all the solutions, and you are not part of the answers. Practically come on ground and show something. You all look like us. So that is why we have to keep this relationship together. We have to work on this relationship. Today, we need support for restoration. We need the skills for restoration. We need the skills for conservation. We need the skills for creative and performing arts in the schools. We need the skills for developing the technical vocational institutions in all of these areas. Because that is the new horizon of Sierra Leone. Where the jobs are. Which can take us to the higher height. Which can let us to compete. This is the Sierra Leone today. And this is what all of you are talking about. I hope you've enjoyed all of it, the time you've spent here. And I'm sure every bit of time has been meaningful to you.
Yes.
Very meaningful, purposeful. That I see in all your faces. That probably if you had your way, you will not want to go back. And you may want to stay a little bit longer. But it's always time to say goodbye. There's always time for you to come again. Whatever you want to do, our doors are open. I will be the link. Of course, the Ministry of Tourism is in charge of all of this. But we link and we work with other ministries. We run a very strong interministerial process. Wherein, with the Ministry of Tourism, we link with all the ministries. So if I mean, by the virtue of what you want to do, you can link with Amadou, they can link with us, but he too can link with other processes. But at the top level, we can make that happen. So if you have your plans, he can help as well. But people in all of these areas who can support the causes of young women, young men, those who have not the opportunity to go to school. So there is so much for us to do. So on that note, let me take this opportunity of not only thanking you, but wishing you well. Because this is my very first function in 20 days proper. On that note, let me wish you well. Say hi to all the relatives that did not come. Tell them the next trip they have to be here. And that it is the best for all of us. Thank you very much. God bless you. Wishing you safe trip back home.
And so for that, we're eternally grateful for all that you've done. I was talking with my sister, and she says that, you know, we could be related with the dimples. And the dimples are good, and the gap in the teeth, you know. You know, we cherish ours, and we thank you, and we most appreciate it. But for the people of Freetown, we're just so grateful. And as I don't speak, let me take this opportunity to say this about our educational system. You know, we were talking about it, my brothers and sisters and I, and as we sit around and talk when we go to school, and we're supposed to be educated, but I figured out that we get to check our brain in, because all of our Gullah culture, all of our...
So we did 5 shows in one day, and then another whole day the next day, that Saturday, the first of the month. 6 months ago, we didn't have a penny to come. The last 2 months ago, within 3 weeks, God gave us all that we needed and some extra. And I mean, trying to put all these pieces together, and I just knew that this was the year that I had to come. Like I said, I've been trying to get here for some time since meeting Amadou in 2006, but the pieces didn't fall in place. But when I tell you, when God ordained a thing, it's a done deal. And I'm a water walker. I believe what he say. And if he says it and he puts it in my spirit, I'm done with it. Don't ask me how it's going to be done. That ain't my business. It's his business to do it. And so on behalf of Beaufort County, South Carolina, I call it Gullah Country, USA. All the different agencies, South Carolina PRT, the Beaufort County. And so from Beaufort County, from South Carolina, we just said we're just so happy to be at home, and we look forward to hosting you all. Come on, visit, because I got some rice for you, honey. Got some peas and rice, got some red rice, got some crab rice, okra rice. We got some rice for you. And when I heard somebody said, it was, I think what you said, said they give you yams and cassava, but if you ain't got rice, it ain't no. See, that's how we are when we have dinner. You know, like, and I went to school up north, and they would give me mashed potatoes or whatever, and I said, okay, but where the rice?
And I have a little news for you, that by God's grace, the cost of air tickets is gone down. Amen. So we have more people to come.
Georgia. My focus is African cultural preservation, so I travel all over the continent.
Winston Ralliford with my wife Carolyn, and we're from the state of Florida, hailing from the great state of Georgia in low country Gullah land.
Yes, in addition.
Good morning, my name is Antoinette Dunham. I'm from Savannah, Georgia, and I've always known that there was something more than America. Thank you.
We Sierra Leone. William McKinley Rutherford, from the great state of Georgia, city of Riceboro. My reason for being here, I tell you what, I had a dream. I ever heard the word Sierra Leone, and all I knew is that I had to go there, and so I'm here.
On about the Freedom School, I'm starting to sail around the world to reach to all the places that Sierra Leoneans we are taking to. I'm so proud that I'm able to reach around the world and able to meet my family and have the opportunity to come again with the Gullah King to the umbrella of Amadou Mansali and Fambul take it bend, but you know they broke. In that regard, I want to see peace and love to this country. God bless everyone.
Migrating to the United States, especially in South Carolina and Georgia, in sensitizing the African Americans about the link, the relationship between Sierra Leone and
Planning this trip for, I guess, over 13 years now. And so God is just faithful to his word. He's faithful, faithful, faithful. And so if you just believe and just keep focused, it will come to fruition. So this is truly, truly a dream. We hold on to this, all of this history. But if this history, Jabby and all the other young people, you know, trying to connect, that makes this thing come alive for them. And my grandkids on the other side of the ocean, I can take a lot of this information back to them and say, this is why it's important that you know who you are, because you won't.
General in Atlanta to host the former president when it's back in Rome. So it rose to the top of my list at that point.
Atlanta, Georgia. I was born and raised in the great town of Riceboro, Georgia, and there was a song that was had the most African dialect in the Americas, and the American slaves, Mary Moran, taught the song to her daughters and their granddaughters, and through that song and through the intervention of a linguist, Lorenzo Turner, and a musicologist, the Smith village in the city of Angola. And we were able to trace our roots all the way back to that small village with a lady by the name of Bendu.
Which was also one of the first schools in the South for formula.
It's the same grass that we use in America. And I'm so proud to be here. Thank you so much.
South Carolina. My family is from Conway, South Carolina. And it's just a blessing to be here. My grandmother gifted me this opportunity to come back and learn about my history. I can't wait to go back to America and share it with other people.
The interpreter and public historian of Africana and Gullah Geechee history and culture from South Carolina. And this is my first time out of America, so I'm very grateful that it is here in my ancestral home of Sierra Leone.
Information about the cultural similarities with Sierra Leone and Gullah Geechee heritage since my trip as part of Priscilla's homecoming a few years ago. And I'm a native of St. Helena Island, South Carolina. I now reside in Georgetown County, South.
And being here has reminded me, no matter what color your skin is, we're all from Africa. Thank you.
Low country area. And I'm a member of Aunt Pearlie Sue and Gullah Kinfolk and the Gullah Traveling Theater, and she has afforded me the awesome opportunity to serve as her music.
The different villages, they are still valuing all of those things that that they brought here or was here, and I'm so grateful and so full to be here. Thank you.
I am very passionate about my country, and so I am back to first of all, welcome all of our guests here. I work with Amadou and the rest of the Fambul Tea crew, and I am very passionate about sustainable development in my country and tourism as well. And so I am very happy to be back after almost 20 years. It's much of a homecoming for me as it is for everyone else. So thank you all so much for having us.
Because I'm a Jamaican. You know, in Jamaica, some of the people of Jamaica, not only were they Maroons, those who were enslaved, and then when they got to Jamaica or other parts of the Caribbean, they were able to escape and go up into the mountains and create communities up there. But also, there were Africans they were brought here to Sierra Leone, and after that, they were then taken to Jamaica and made of some of the Kikongo speaking people then, and that's where it helped what we call the Kumina people within to Africa from the Caribbean. Many Jamaican cotton tree out there, and the Maroon church that they established, and then they went and established a Dunkel. And so I know that some of my family history connects back to all of those. So I feel like I'm in a special place. And lastly, as somebody said at the very beginning, many beautiful things. And so I was lucky that I captured one of the beautiful things, my wife. And so that brings the connection around. I'm here today as part of, I'm the artistic director for Destination Salon, which is an infrastructure welcoming me and allowing me to be part of you. Thank you.
Because we believe very passionately in the power of culture and creativity to drive development. And as people have said many times, Sierra Leone is very much underestimated in terms of the wealth and depth of its culture, its flora, its fauna, and all the other things that we know that we should really... Thank you so much.
How I want to do? Historian at heart. And I've written a book called The African American Odyssey of John Kizzle. John Kizzle was from Sierra Leone. He was enslaved in South Carolina. He returned here in 1792 as one of the Nova Scotians and spent most of his
education. I come from a lineage of educators. My great-grandfather, Wolf Flag Sr. in Milledgeville, Georgia, Baldwin County, they do a social justice award for him every year. He came in and took over. Another relative of mine, Henry Hunt, actually transitioned Fort Valley State College and University from a high school to the university that it is now. So it's a lot of this land has given me through my bloodline and through my lineage. I hope to be able to bring that back closer.
Activist and many other kinds of activities that have helped me to better understand. I believe that Mary had adopted her from somewhere in Africa. And she kept telling me about these people in certain ways, like, oh, we made rice together, we cooked mustard and dumplings, cornbread dumplings together. And I got a little jealous because this woman and her husband were easing in on my mother. So when I came home, she couldn't wait time that Gullah culture is only on the Sea Islands and in Charleston. They don't know at this time. I learned from them that there was a connection that I didn't read about in books, of course, because it wasn't there yet. And so as we began to, good people, solid people, intelligent people, my purposes before I go. And the title of my trip this time, just for me, no one cared, was Totem. I wanted to take a word that we kept, story back to Sierra Leone. And last night I was able to tell that story. And now my 4 times great grandmother, Bina, is in the minds of people who were there to...
But the fact was, I want to speak today was, Bunce Allen really made an effect upon me. When I walked upon it, I felt the feeling of that. I knew the spirits were around. There were some good ones, and you also told me about some. It's going to be a whole different thing. And we're going to be a part of making it the best that it can be. Thank you.
Our children and teach each other about the different cultures. And I am so awed to have been given this opportunity to have this experience. God bless.
Being lynched in the later years, this was an
able to spend my 71st birthday on the motherland. Happy 17! And I thank you. It has been very welcome. Very welcome.
Happy birthday.
For Akindele, for Dr. Thompson, we all reside in the US today. So to coordinate this type of trip with 40 plus people, with the average age being 55, it was going to be impossible for us to do it. From all the welcoming you've been getting from all those villages, they help us do that pre-arrangements. So we must give an opportunity to continue to engage with you. So I thank you all very much.
To the Gullah Geechee Heritage Cultural, I don't know how to say it all, Gullah Geechee Cultural Heritage Corridor Commission. Making those links. We talked about sweetgrass baskets and opportunities of how we can take some of these baskets into the US and make sure the people of Robonco, they were so poor and you can see poverty. Well, These are pioneers in establishing Sierra Leone as a heritage tourism destination, right? Since the transatlantic slave trade, when those guys went and built a village on the mesa so they could see slave invaders coming to attack them. And then thirdly, third element of our choice, abolition. And that's what brings all the way to the 1860s that were being brought here into Sierra Leone. So there are many things involved in what we're doing so far. Not to talk about John Kizell. After here, we're going to use by people like William Wilberforce in the UK to help eradicate slavery, the transatlantic slave trade. So there are many things. Also we have a Gola connection built into all of this. Again, we went to the Sweetgrass Baskets village. We have the Moran Rutherford family people here that are connected to a song.
The Gola whatever will be exploding by the time you get into your flight. But at the same time, let me briefly see. One, as I stand here, all Sierra Leoneans know Charlie Hafner as a singer. I don't talk without singing. I'm going to sing you a song. I've been coaxing the bad voice since yesterday. And coaxing sounds like toting. I want to say to you that tote is part of Creole with a tote for tote. And also, a name came, somebody was talking about Maroon connection. And he mentioned that the Maroons, after they arrived here, they walked 12 miles to a place called Adonkia. Adonkia is a village along the peninsula. And I always told my kids and everyone that our great-great-grandmother and father were Jamaicans who settled here at Adonkia village. And they were called Malad. My grandmother was Lydia Malad. She was the last Malad who died in this country. And the compound they bought is where I am living right now. I'm sorry, I would have liked to take him there so that you feel Adonkia. It's the Maroons in the midst of the Mende people. That's Adonkia where we are. Next point is that this is not the first Gola Geechee homecoming visit. It is number 4. And I've been engaged in all 3 of them very effective. The first one, 1989, led by Emery Campbell and Cornelia Bailey. And those people were crown chiefs before they left. And then came the Bendu Jabati, we had by the Mary Moran song. And this is Bendu Jabati. And the third one was Priscilla homecoming, that's the polite. The polite, beautiful polite lady. The twist that Tomalin, the twist the generation 12 also generation backwards, and that was the third one. This is the 4th, they're the largest group, and I hope it's going to be the most effective. Yes. Effective because I think, for me, these projects and things, to me, they resemble like pregnancy. When people become pregnant, we don't congratulate the woman for becoming pregnant. We wait until childbirth. That's time we Creole, this will say, I give you joy. I give you joy. I give you joy. When someone else will say it here in Creole. And so for me, this is like pregnancy. All those visits, I've been waiting to see what will come out. And here again I've been listening to see what will come out. And before I really state that, let me tell you the song. In 1992, we were invited to National Black Arts Festival by the Gola Geechee people who visited here in 1989. And I, along with 3 tongue players, you must have heard that name before, we toured we moved around with 2 things, mainly the Gola song. We call it the Gola song. I wish the group was here to do this better, but I'll try my best. Forget about my bad voice. I'll try my best. No need for the story. We told stories too. There's a wonderful woman there who moved us just now, the storyteller. We told stories, but for now, briefly, not like an orchestra, with my bad voice, I'll go it slowly for you to hear what this thing was about. Long time ago, we were not yet born. It was 250 years ago. White planters in America opened rice plantation all over rice plantation. But the white planters cannot cultivate rice. They were businessmen. They were out for cash. Bangalang, Bangalang. What did the white man do? They came to Sierra Leone and captured Sierra Leoneans who knew how to plant rice. To them we are slaves to North America. South Carolina resembles Sierra Leone. Sunshine, high mountain, tropical forest on the coastal plains, a lot of swamps to Plarionians arrive in Sierra Leoneans, they bought in malaria and yellow fever. Why you ya? In the Carolina, in the plantation, it swept over Georgia. So the white planters who own the plantation arrived from Sierra Leone. Sierra Leoneans were is about Connie rabbits. Good. Let me stop there. So whatever. But I want you to know that I have not had that. We are talking about touristic investments, we are talking about all kinds of investments. Let it be among your itinerary, let it be in your schedule, your plans, your program. That's my home time I visited, that I'm so proud of. The people are hungry. A hungry man is an angry man. Please help us grow rice. If you come back and you don't talk about rice growing, I will not come to see you. Sincerely. Okay, I thank you very, very much for coming, and I hope that we say, may God bring on a car, may God care on a go back. I thank you.
To 56 people marketing Sierra Leone by word of mouth, sitting in the pubs, talking to their friends, talking to their families about the experience they have got in Sierra Leone. We cannot do more. So on this note, I want to thank you very much for taking up the time to come to this country, to see how beautiful it is, to see what we have to offer to the world. For you to know that we're not what people think, the negatives. No more negative about this country. Now it's all the way positive. You can see how secured, how safe Sierra Leone is, how welcoming we are. Our hospitality is second to none. I always tell people, I've been to many countries in Africa, but the hospitality we have in Sierra Leone is not compared to any, and you people are witnessing it. You are going to say it to the world that Sierra Leone is ready for tourism. Sierra Leone is the most hospitable country in the world. Sierra Leone is the safest country in the world, where you can walk 2-3 miles in the evening, 7, 8, 9 at night. Nobody will ask you anything. Nobody will touch you. You need not be scared of anything. So we at the National Tourist Board were very grateful for this arrangement by the Monuments and Heritage Commission, and especially my brother here, Amadou. 7 years ago, I was working for one of the hotels, I think where you're staying now. I was working and we met and we had a lot of discussions. And today, I can see the product of that discussion. So Amadou, I thank you so much for following it, for not relenting, and I believe we can do more. Thank you very much, Madam Minister. You have been very dynamic. You have given hope to the hopeless, because this industry was not that much considered. It was one of the industries people think is not the best. For you to be a minister at the Ministry of Tourism, to be a big director, etc. But today, it has been transformed, and it's now practically the ministry we are all talking about. And that is because we have a dynamic leadership. And that is because she has people behind her who are also ready to work. When you come to the Monuments and Heritage Commission, you see what we have. When you go to the National Tourist Board, you see what we have. So, family members, that's what I refer to you. You are all now family members. We are brothers and sisters. We are brothers and sisters. And now we are going to work as a family to promote this wonderful country. This of rice, as the chairman rightly said, there's no way you can eat in Sierra Leone without eating rice. When you give me food, you
give me cassava, you give me yams, and they ask me.
Let's sing it together. Thank you very, very much. And yesterday was the very first time I met my Gula. And as I also listened today to each person talking about their connection to Sierra Leone, I see a lot of unsung stories. A lot of stories that we should be telling our children as well. A lot of stories that we should be sharing with our kinfolks here and our kinfolks across the world. And I want to talk to you, Mr. Masali. Thank you so much. You know, we don't even talk about Gula Gichi, Mr. Masali, and this Gula Gichi thing. But you followed your heart and you made it happen. This is so important for us, Madam Minister. I know there's a documentary team here. It's not enough. We need to document each story here. We need to document the story of the Morans. We need to document each individual story because everyone here has a story to tell. Everyone here has a connection to Sierra Leone. And as somebody who is in the information business, I am eager to hear more stories. I am eager to document these stories so that we can share it in our schools, we can share it in the universities, and our children will learn about their family members in Carolinas, in Georgia, in the USA, in the Maroons of Jamaica, etc. I know about the Maroon Church, I've been there, but I had no connection to all these stories you're saying because I have some gray hair now, so I'm old enough. But we need to know these stories, and it's very important for us, and it's part of the healing. You know, sometimes as Sierra Leoneans, I say there is a disconnect somewhere. When things happen in this country, especially when the war was going on, you can feel as if there is something missing, there is a missing link. And when I hear these stories, it tells us that people have been hurt years ago. Our people are hurting.
Cultural affairs. When I sat in the office of the then minister, he's late now, and Mr. Masale was there, and that was the very first time I heard him saying that he will bring members of the Gula Gichi community to Sierra Leone. Let us give him a very big hand because 12 years during my own tenure, God has made it possible for all of us to be here today. We are extremely happy. During the last quarter of last year, we did receive 17 people again from the United States of America, and most of them were again from North and South Carolina. Indeed, you said it all, that during the Industrial Revolution, our white people, they needed professional slaves. We were, I'm saying we were because we're all part of the grandchildren and your great-great-grandchildren. If all of us do so, if all of us serve as ambassadors, if all of us serve as workers, that people wish to come to and to make sure that the lives of each and boss is here. When your boss is there, you don't make long statements because she has the owners. Charlie Afna told you that she is the think tank. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, once more, on behalf of the Cultural Affairs Directorate,
can we just go this way?
Okay. Rutherford. Antoinette Rutherford. Leon Rutherford.
Family. So, cultural affairs, it shows that this is a very important event because we are
also. But I have to say it's a Sierra Leone because people are called, they were brought some of the Kikongo speaking people in.
We were before. So I thank you, Amadou, for giving me that opportunity. Last night I had an awesome experience. To experience it.
Like the knowledge about will be exploding. Long, long time ago, we were not yet born. It was 250 years ago. White planters in America opened rice plantation all over rice plantation. But the white planters cannot cultivate rice. They were businessmen. They were out for cash. Bangalan, Bangalan, what did the white man do? They came to Sierra Leone and captured Sierra Leoneans who knew how to plant rice. Took them away as slaves to North America, to South Carolina. They took them to Georgia. Bangalan, Bangalan. South Carolina resembles Sierra Leone. A lot of wind and a lot of sunshine. High, high mountain, tropical forest on the coastal plains. A lot of swamps to plant rice. Let me tell you one important thing. Mosquito Boku in Caroline. So as Sierra Leoneans arrive in Sierra Leone, Sierra Leoneans, they brought me malaria and yellow fever. Why oh ya? Elele Bangalan, the white man grave again. Elele Bangalan, it reached Carolina. In the plantation, it swept over Georgia. Bangalan. So the white planters who own the plantation cannot stand the wrath of malaria. White man fly away and left the plantation. So the Sierra Leoneans all over Sierra Leoneans, as more and more slaves arrive from Sierra Leone. Sierra Leoneans were able to keep their language. Bangalan, Bangalan. If you don't believe, ex-President Momo visited the Golas in South Carolina. Ex-President Thomas, when the Golas visited him, the Golas said to him, "We're glad for seeing you." They served him rice and palava sauce. They gave him shukubrai. They gave him country club, and they chanted together. They told him folk stories about Connie rabbits. Bangalan. Bangalan. Good. Let me stop there. Our job was to provide food for people who will work.
The biggest we've got for many, many years. This means a lot to Sierra Leone, because you are coming in at a time when we are rebranding this country, at a time when we want more ambassadors abroad, at a time when we need neutral voices to speak on our behalf, to tell our stories, to tell them the goodness of Sierra Leone. Somebody said, Sierra Leone's value is underrated and underestimated globally, and it's true, because we have not been doing enough to let people know that Sierra Leone is a competitive destination. Yes. Here we are today in a country where we are reviving the economy. We have large number of youth.
And I mean, trying to put that this was the year that I had to come. Done deal. And I'm a
This one. Leon Rutherford. Prince. Mary Dynast. Your guy from the minister. And in-law, Stacy. We're going to do a group picture with the minister immediately after this gift procession. Just before lunch. So when you take your bags, if you just walk towards the back would be helpful. That way we can also move up front.
Yeah, I think we stay for the picture and then we go back.
Antoinette Dunham. Come on, William McKinley Rutherford. And your wife, Cynthia. See there, Dr. Sheila Walker, Marcia Walker, Warren Rutherford, Auntie Parley Sue, John Kamara, Victoria Smalls, Nakia Whitfall, Xavier Blake. Yeah, you. Dion Turner, Sarah Days, Ron Days, Portia Cobb, come on down, Raoul and Scott.
Let them go, bro.
Sam Pinkley, Vicky Glover, Kevin Glover, where you going? Eric Crawford, Miss Diddy Webb, come on down, Dr. Gerald, Patricia Mallett, Bernice White, Joan Leonard, Natasha Robinson, Natalie Days, Sarah you get your moms, Simeon Days, Bernice White, that's it, Miss Langley, Dr. Lawton, Zena Craft, Inda Walker, Louis Davis, Gloria Jackson, Louis Davis. That's it. And I guess all of us that are here, the rest will have to take to them because they're not on that side. Gloria Jackson right here. Inda Walker, also known as Miss Fortune. Wesley Murphy. Oh, I miss Wesley. Wesley Murphy. This is the youngest, 20 years old. Travelers, visitors, yeah? Garland McLaurin. Betsy Newman. That's what we call now. Where's Betsy? And
Betsy.
Steve.
And we can Betsy and Steve.
But the rest will just take us. They're not here. Dr. Sheila Walker, did I call you already?